Hi there, we're going to continue practicing area of triangles today. And I wanted to show you a triangle like the one on the screen here, which is really funky looking. So the reason that they have these dotted lines off to the right side is because we need to find a right angle. And you could, I guess there's really no other way to draw it. So this is really the only way that they could show you the height of the triangle. The height of the triangle has to be from the top of the triangle to the bottom of the triangle. So that's why they have the 2 yards labeled there. Then the width of the triangle has to be from the left side of the triangle all the way to where the point reaches over. So this would be like the base and the height. The base is 7 and the height is 2. And the only way that they could really label that on the triangle is by extending the measurements out to the side because of how wacky and tilted the shape is. So you still find this the same way. You would still do area equals 1/2 times base times height. And then you would say 1/2 times 7 times 2. A half of 2 is 1. So this would be 7 yards squared. So even though it looks funky, it's still the exact same thing. What I have over here is kind of a summary of the formulas we've done so far. On the left side, I have our rectangle formula, base times height. It doesn't matter which side you say is base and which side you say is height, though. For triangles, the formula is 1/2 times base times height. And then there's kind of like 3 different triangles you could see. The first triangle has the height going down the middle of it. The second triangle has the height as the left side of the triangle. And then the third triangle is the wacky one we just saw. It doesn't matter how the triangle is drawn. You always look for that right angle, that little box right here that tells you that that makes perfect 90-degree angle. And then those are the 2 numbers you use. So what I thought we would do is here's the first page of the assignment. If you guys could please pause the video and try this page and then come back when you're ready to check the whole page. All right, hopefully you've done this page and you're ready to check. For number 1, remember we start with the formula, area equals 1/2 times base times height. Then you show substituting in the numbers. So 1/2 times 4 times 9. You could have done 9 times 4 also. It doesn't matter. In my head, I'm going to do 1/2 times 4 because that's an even number. Half of 4 is 2. So 2 times 9 is 18 feet squared. You could have used your calculator too. But this would be the work you have to show. So if you are missing any of this work, add it in now. All right, hopefully you've done number 2 already as well. Start with the formula. Area equals 1/2 times base times height. That's going to be 1/2 times 5 times 14. Doesn't matter what order you have them in though. And I'm going to do 1/2 times 14 first. Since they're all multiplication, I can multiply the numbers in any order I want. Since 14 is even, I want to start with that because I could take half of 14 easier than I could take half of 5. Half of 14 is 7. 7 times 5 is 35 centimeters squared. All right, I don't want to waste too much of your time, so I'm just going to give the answers to the next 2. 70 meters squared and 60 inches, not meters, 60 inches squared. Number 5, describe and correct the error. So let's see. It looks like they forgot to take half of it. So when you just do 20 times 9, you're actually finding the area of like a big old rectangle like that. But the triangle is only half of the rectangle. Pretend that's a perfect half. I didn't draw it perfectly. So because of that, we actually need to do 1/2 times 20 times 9. But if we just take half of the final answer, that'll correct it too. So if I divide 18 by 2, that's 9. Add the 0 on. That's going to be 90 feet squared. All right. You should have already done 6. It says, are the areas the same? And I don't want to waste your time by showing all of the steps, but for both of them, you get 36 millimeters squared. So you would say yes. And you have to show more work. I'm just not wasting your time by showing all the work. The work I did in problems 1 and 2 is the work you need to be showing. And then number 7. So let's see, we have 2 triangles and they have the same base. And the height of the second triangle is twice the height of the first triangle. So let's see if we could figure this out. So that's triangle A. And that's triangle B. And they have the same base. So I'm going to say that this is X. Or you could assign it to be a number. You could even say, if you don't like using X, if you think that's confusing, you could say that that's 10. They have the same base. The height of triangle B is twice the height of triangle A. So here's where my height would be, because that makes a right angle. And maybe I'm going to say that this height is 5 and this height is 10. I'm just picking random numbers because they have the same base, so my 10s at the bottom are the same. But B has double the height of A. So 5 is half of 10. That's my second numbers. How many times greater is the area of triangle B? So the area of triangle A would be 1/2 times 5 times 10. And half of 10 is 5. So 5 times 5 is 25. Here I want 1/2 times 10 times 10. Half of 10 is 5. 5 times 10 is 50. How many times greater is the area of triangle B? Well, 50 is twice as big as 25. So it's 2 times greater. Or you could have said double. All right, that's not